This is basically the drawing I was starting to work with on the plate, and realized that I didn't have the dimensions set up correctly and that stuff. So I went back in CAD and basically redid this. So now coming from this back corner here, and the blue line outline is the outer dimensions. I just have to be within that. You know, my plate is like 8 1/4. So my plan is to come in, you know, about 100 thou from each direction here and consider that 0. You know, different ways to do it, stuff like that. I know it's better to, if it was CNC, I'd want to come off the corner of the plate, and then it'd be the same every time. But, you know, just for doing this one-off, I'm really not too worried about it. So anyway, I've got the dimensions for each hole from this corner, and so that's what I'm going to do. Let's fire up the mill and drill some spotting holes. Do some spot drilling, rather. Get the plate in. As I tighten it down with the vise, I tapped it down with plastic hammer or whatever. Whoa. Anyway, tapped it down. The parallels are tight. I could actually take them out of there now if I wanted, but as you can see, I had to take one of the jaws off. This is 5 inches, and this thing is 5 inches wide. It doesn't quite have a 5-inch reach. It was like about 1/8 of an inch short. Not much, but so anyway, so I've got it positioned so that my spotting drill is really close to right at the back corner there. This plate is 5 inches this way, and I need to be 4.9, so I've got about 100 thou. So instead of moving in 100 thou in each direction, I'm only going to move in 50, which is plenty, but that keeps it to where I've got some metal all around the edges. Reality is I should have probably done it the other way so that I could keep this flat edge here against here, and that would save me having to do any work whatsoever from that. I'm not going to worry about it because, you know, I can slap it back in the mill and shave that off if I have to. So anyway, that's 0, 0. Let's move it about 50 thou. Alright, so that buys me a little leeway, because what I'm trying to avoid is, you know, what happened here with this, where I was too close to the edge and ended up, you know, everything else about it looks okay. It's just a little flat there. Won't affect what I'm doing for a prototype, but the prototyping process, while you're doing it and everything, that's a good time to get better at your techniques and everything, so that when you start doing any kind of production or anything like that, you've figured out exactly how to avoid making those same mistakes over and over again, that kind of thing. So so this is all a learning process. So let's go from there. So let's move it to the first position, which is 750, 750. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can keep track of this. And I'm going to go up, and that's 71. Now I want to go back to 70. So that way I go up to the 1.882 that I need for the next hole. And I think this is absolute measurement. You're coming everything from the same point instead of incremental. I could be wrong on this. Incremental, I think, is where I moved the 750, and then I would have had a measurement here from the 750 to the next one. The problem is if you have any error in your placement, by the time you get over to this one, it's all added together. As long as I'm referenced to this hole here, I'm only going to have the individual errors that I might make in dialing into those. So, because if this one was off, you know, 20 thousandths when I drill it, and I'm measuring everything, the next one from that, you know, then that one's 20 off. Measure from there to there, it's 20 off. Oh, look there, got the 3 mounting holes. That, yeah. So one hiccup. Oh well. Now the reason I set those is because I could have found that point, done the center drill, changed out the bit, drilled that hole, then go over and found the other one. But the tool change, if I had a power drawbar or a tool, you know, that kind of thing, that'd be a whole lot easier. I would probably do it that way. But here it's easier to go do all those set points, and then then I could drill this, and let's say I drill that to ½ inch, and go, oh crap, it's actually 3/4. I can go back and find that point easy enough. So, as in doing here, had I just been changing tools, I might have gotten that drilled out to something big enough to be annoying. Because that's going to be fairly close to the edge of the 3-inch diameter center circle here. So if I've got to use if I'm using a boring head, and that hole is like a 3/4 and overlapping, I'd have an interrupted cut there every time, and wouldn't want that. So I made my dimensional mistake with the spotting drill, not with the bigger bit. So let's move up to the other bits. And this way too, you know, now I can just go do, you know, like both of the 3/4 inch holes if I want to start there. But since I'm lined up on one of these, I'm going to drill that hole with its 13/32. I've spec'd that hole at 13/32, 0.406. And what I'm going to do is, I don't have a collet for that. I can't move this up and put the head under it. There's just not enough, the drill chuck, just not enough room. So I'm going to go ahead and drill it with a 3/8. And from there, 13/32 is just one step up basically. So I will, that'll be a real easy one to run through on the drill press. I don't have to worry about it walking around a whole lot. That'll just be basically taking a real light cut to clean it up. So we'll drill all 3 of these holes with that one. Now, this is just a thought. Random thought for the day, I guess. Turning these in the lathe down to a common collet size. And you know, if I went and did that, then I could finish drilling these. So I just might do that, especially since this is it's a rarely used size, so the tip's really good on it. It's been used a couple times because it's been spun back here. I might just do that just to give that a try. Ooh, maybe I could put it in the CNC lathe and see if I can get it to spin down to 3/8. Anyway. Alright, let's check on the hole saw options. Well, here's the hole saws, band-aids, most important tool in the shop. Now I don't really need okay, that's over 3 inches. That would work, I'm not too worried about it though. And that's probably 2 3/8 with the curve. I'll probably do that. Then that way I don't have to fight with boring it quite as much boring. Oh, here we go. Hole saws are usually nasty and extremely loud. Pulleys are slipping. Nice. That actually made a pretty nice hole. Way better than had it been on the drill press. Okay, that's the heavy part. Now I got to get the boring head set up. And I cheated here. Hopefully, but aside from the belts turning, I did get a little slip in the arbor, or in the collet, because I put this in there and I wasn't supposed to. I may have killed a half-inch collet. Probably did. So we'll have to see. I'll have to use it again sometime to see just how much run out there is. Probably wore fairly evenly, but anyway, don't follow my example. Oh, yeah, see right there? It's over. That bar is over 3 inches long. So that means the back end's going to rub. I was hoping to do it this way because of the height. So part of the reason why I'm trying to get it set up for the boring head with the cutter hanging out the side here is because of height. Okay, I've got enough room to get the boring head in here like this, and it's the drawback of the round column. I have this hole figured out where it sits. Now I can move it up, and then I can do the edge finder business and all that stuff and find that center again and do it, and I may have to do that, but I'm trying to kind of cheat a little bit and get something going that's, you know, in the long run that probably would have been faster to just do that. But I'm committed, dang it. We're going to make this work. Okay, that is definitely smaller, so I can run it back this way a little bit. Well, what I'll do is I'll put it back up in here, and I know that that hole is, you know, a certain size. It's under 3 inches, so that'll give me a starting point. Well, this would probably be a good time to lock the bed down. These thumb screws that come with this machine to start with, they really are pathetic. I saw something the other day on one where the guy had some adjustable handles, actual handles on his. I thought, man, that's pretty cool. Okay, because the load is going to be forcing this thing around like a hula hoop. That's why I went ahead and tightened those down, just to help keep it from moving too much. So that hole is 2 3/4. So I'm only going to take about 1/8 of an inch off, and you can see right there that that's way more than 1/8. So let's alright, got to go in reverse and see what happens. Wrong reverse. Sweet. Sweet, 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 sweet. Now the question is, how big is that hole? I'm really not too worried about it being exact. We're at 7/8, so let's go out another 1/8 of an inch. Well, it's probably only a 16th, so let's do a 16th. We can make extra passes. Getting there. Oh, real close. Yeah, you know, considering it was supposed to be, I said it was an 1/8. That means that a 1/16. So it's a good thing I stopped at the 1/16, both for the cutter's sake and the dimension. So it's just a hair under. So we'll just consider this more of a cleanup cut. You know, this is the kind of thing where when I have these laser cut, you know, I could have the laser hole cut, you know, like a 1/16 or an 1/8 of an inch smaller, and then use a boring head. I definitely want to get a better carbide cutter. But I could go back in and cut that hole and make it even cleaner, but it's a clearance hole. It's not like it has bolts going through it or anything precision, anything like that. It's just to clear the hub, so it ought to be fine. Awesome. Okay. That is the 3 mounting holes, the 2 plug weld holes, and the center hole. So I should be able to take that out of there now. Got some deburring to do here. Now it's one thing, you know, my biggest countersink is 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so that's easy enough to get in here and, you know, knock the burrs off these holes, but it goes right through the center of those, so I could do it manually, or we'll see what how the step drill works. Nice. Close enough, certainly for what I'm doing too, but I do need to get a bigger step drill. So I want to get the burr off the back here. Probably, most cases it'd probably just be easier to do it with this, but it's a pretty heavy burr. It's steel, so. I took the heavy part off, so. Yeah, okay. I like that. Well, time to get the outline on there so I can cut that out. And I'll probably get it drawn on, but I'm not going to cut it today. Hey, so this should be a lesson. Stay in school, at least through grade school, so that way you learn how to use scissors. Well, I thought about it. Before I get too carried away, I should probably check and make sure that this fits, because if these holes are off, it'd be a whole lot easier to slot them on the mill while it's still able to be clamped in there. Alright, let's see if it actually lines up with the holes here and stuff. because I drilled these to just the size that this would go through. So, you know, there's there's not much play there. That's awesome. Okay, and that clearance hole is, this isn't the right hub, but this size here, when it goes down, okay, that's so it clears there. So the 3 inches is kind of arbitrary and it's fine. And that's all I need to know. Now I can mark the outside and cut it. Alright, it's all lined up. So, now what I'm going to do is I brought the tape over. So I left it overhanging there, so now I can put a couple pieces of tape on it, and then I can flip it over and still keep it in position. You know, I had made that comment, you know, I had it sitting in the vise like this, and I came off this corner and I moved in to help split it. Well, as it turns out, when I lined it up there, the paper is right on the edge. Exactly where I would have liked to have had it, but it's kind of serendipity, because the way I planned it, had I gone any more, I would have been over. Had I gone any less, it just worked out. It just, I got lucky. Better to be lucky than good. So, it didn't matter which side I drew this on, because once I cut it out, it's, you know, either side will work.